What is good, YouTube? This is Vortex. I'm back with another Hunter x Hunter video here. As always, guys, these videos will be random, basically just centered around specific things or specific spots and episodes that stood out to me. And basically, this is centered around the fight between Uvo and Kurapika. This is one of the first videos. I have a couple other things that I need to talk about as far as this fight is concerned. But needless to say, guys, this is just centered around how literally, how almost perfect this fight was. It was almost perfect, and basically here's why. If you go back, this is episode 47. When you go back to the episode and you rewatch it, it's literally almost perfect. I mean, it's basically like how you know how Goku in DBZ he would ask like Vegeta or some other villain, hey, let's move to a different site. It reminds you of that, where there's no people around, there's no buildings around, there's just nothing but rock and dirt and just open space for the for the fighters to do whatever it is they need to or can do without any distractions. That's the first thing. It's an open space. Second thing is that the fight is at night, and it actually ties into a couple of other things as far as the fight is concerned. Nighttime fights, from what I've seen in anime so far in my lifespan of watching anime, night scene fights have been very dope. They can be very beautiful, and this was one of those times where this fight was a dope fight. And it was a few things that could have made it more perfect, I'm gonna dive into in a little bit. But one of the main things that made this in a sense towards a perfect fight was the fact that it happened at night. And that everything that culminates up to them fighting while they're fighting, and all the dialogue in between the fight up until the end. But also two key things that happens in this fight. Kurapika, three things actually, should I say. One, Kurapika is basically talking to Uvo and kind of trying to remind him about 5 years ago and the spider trope going to his village and killing his people. And in the midst of him talking about that, the background is even dope, where it gives you a brief scene of the clan of his villagers, but you don't actually see the members. You can just see their bodies, and everything's in red. And even in the midst of that, Kurapika's eyes are in that scarlet red state. But technically they're not. They're really not. It's just giving you a visual of his village, plus him as if he already activated his scarlet eyes. That was a very dope picture there also in this scene. The other thing is when Kurapika decides to use the scarlet eyes, and they get into the fight. Remember, when Kurapika jumps in the air, the moon is red throughout the entire fight. And even if you look in the background of where Uvo is standing, you can kind of tell. It's a smidge of lighting. You can kind of tell that there's a little bit of red there, but technically, the moon is still shining bright. But the moon is red, so that ties into the beauty of this fight, because it also ties into Kurapika's scarlet eyes being activated and being red in this fight. But then also the other key thing to note is that during the fight, we get the flashback back of Kurapika in during his training. I forgot the teacher's name. I forgot his name. I don't even remember if they even mentioned his name in this episode. I can't remember. But we get more information on Kurapika making the decision to use his chain ability, and his teacher basically telling him about the limitations, about basically the conditions behind him using this specific nin power that is very dangerous. That is its only focal point is to attach itself to its prey and basically kill it, and then in that instance we pretty much find out that also it takes away Kurapika's nin powers as well. But again, also we still get the breakdown a little bit more of the nin powers, and even Uvo in this fight, he even in his mind, in his thoughts, he's thinking about specific things about aura and what happens when something like what Kurapika uses, it dampens the aura that that Kurapika's nin chains is attached to, and he notices that it kind of weakens his powers. But all in all, guys, just this fight, it was almost perfect. And the reason why I'm saying it's almost perfect is because that during the fight we literally only had a couple of things happen before Kurapika applies the chains to Uvo and stops him in his tracks before he officially attaches the chain to Uvo's heart to try to get him to talk, so that he won't, it's not like he's saying that he wouldn't kill Uvo. That's not his ultimate goal is to kill Uvo. That's the ultimate goal. I mean, because he's a part of the spider trope anyway. That's his ultimate goal, is to kill all the members. But he basically was just using the chains to kind of coerce Uvo into giving up information on the rest of his spider trope members, and he wouldn't. He just kept telling him to kill him. So it's basically kill him. But the fight basically was short. And that's why I'm saying it was almost perfect, because we only got a couple of spots where Uvo got the attack on Kurapika's arm in the beginning of the fight, but then Kurapika shows him they can heal himself, and then Kurapika also gets an attack where he literally jumps on the back of Uvo's neck. But in the midst of all of that, once he applies the chains, the fight is pretty much a wrap. So all in all, I would say roughly the fight lasts 4 to 5 minutes in total. So that's why I'm saying the fight was almost perfect. It's just the time frame and everything that happened in between that time frame when the fight started. For me at least, it was almost perfect. Everything else, the setting, the area, the fight being at night, the lighting, the moon being red, Kurapika's eyes being scarlet red, all of this stuff, it was almost perfect. I just felt like if the fight would have went a little bit longer, kind of have Kurapika in a sense be more so in a little bit of more danger, to apply the pressure before he actually did the used his chain, basically his chain of death, basically attack, that the fight would have been truly perfect for me if there was just a little bit more fight, little bit more fighting between the two. But all in all, the fight was still was a great fight. It was a very, very great fight. So I just, like I said, I just wish it would have lasted a little longer. But like I said, everything else was just the scenery and everything. It was just great. It was just really, really great. But that's it. That's all I had to say, guys. Pretty much my thoughts on well, at least the first video as far as this fight is concerned. So be sure to hit that like button, leave some comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you feel that the fight was definitely perfect in your eyes? Do you feel like it could have went longer? Let's have a chat in the comment section, guys, and I will catch you all and chat with you all with more Hunter x Hunter. And as always, more to come on my channel. Peace, guys.